arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio K-Man 89.9 FM.
And now, Radio K-Man presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, K-Man. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. It is Thursday, August 27th, and as I've been saying, we are at the very end stretch of August. I cannot believe how fast the summer flew by, but here we are. So I'm hoping for everybody who has started the new school year to have an amazing, blessed, and very focused school year ahead of you. Now, in this segment of the show, the Ministry of Health, Environment, and Sustainability are here. They're proposing a major overhaul of several pieces of legislation governing public health in the Cayman Islands. And as I know, with our loyal listeners, you've been tuning into us, you know that we have been carrying this discussion for about almost 6 weeks now. We've been heavily involved in understanding what the bills are, what the amendments being proposed are, and the package includes a new public health bill, a standalone environmental health bill, amendments to the Tobacco Act, and further amendments to the Health Practice Act. So government says much of the existing legislation has not kept pace with the way Cayman has grown or with modern public health challenges. So the proposals touch everything from infectious disease preparedness, vaping, food and water safety, noise, waste management, and the regulation of healthcare professionals. In the studio this morning, I am happy to welcome the Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, Minister for Health, Environment and Sustainability, Dr. Mark Paramlal, Acting Chief Medical Officer, and Mr. Richard Sims. I almost gave you the doctor designate right there. Mr. Richard Sims, Director for the Department of Environmental Health. So good morning. How are you all doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning,
Kathy.
Kathy.
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's good to have you back, Minister.
Thank you.
I love having you back, and to my other guests as well. First time having you on the show, so welcome to The Buzz.
Yes, thank you.
You're going to enjoy it.
Yes.
Since Mr. Richard Sims has suddenly turned into Dr. Richard Sims, it's a good day for him already. All right, so let's get into the discussion here. Minister, if you could please begin by letting us know what the government is really trying to accomplish with the bills and amendments, and why are we doing this now?
So thank you, Kathy. Good question. Why are we doing this now? I think that the reason why we're doing this now is because it's long overdue. Some of these pieces of legislation are over 40 years old. So as you mentioned in your opening remarks, this is an opportunity for us to sort of bring our legislation up to pace with how we are living here in Cayman, certainly from an environmental health perspective. A lot of what Richard and his team actually do, some of that, or I shouldn't say a lot, but some of that is not really covered in governing legislation. So putting legislation in place to give certainly Director Sims and his team more powers. And that's why we're doing it, and that's why we're doing it now. And we're really excited because this is just the beginning. This is the first, I've been referring to first series or first tranche of amendments, and we have more coming. There's another team in the ministry that is working on a lot of other exciting pieces of legislation. But today we're here to talk about the ones that are being published on Friday.
And I've said it before, I think, but I'm going to say it again. Your ministry is doing an excellent job in informing the public of the changes and what you're trying to do. This legislative package is a pretty big package to get out over the summer and try to get the people involved. But then right before that, there was the Move It campaign, which I know is still an evolving campaign. So there's a lot going on. And for me, I'm very appreciative of the comms that do come out of your ministry and how you guys are trying to inform the public. So
yes, thank you.
You guys are doing a great job with that. It's important for people to know.
Yeah, and what we want to do is certainly as it relates to legislation, what makes legislation effective is when it encompasses, the needs of the people. And so that's why we have been out with the public getting feedback from them, and that has a lot of that has formed part of the bills that we're going to be publishing on Friday. But we're still not finished, which is why we're here.
Yes.
We're here to, again, let those who may not have heard or don't know about what we're doing, let them be aware of the bills that are going to be published, to understand that we're still doing public consultations. And actually, we have a meeting tonight at 6:30 at the Constitutional Hall. So we're inviting the public to come out, where the all of the technical team will be there along with myself, and we're going to be sharing with the public in detail the amendments to the bill. And then again, the public still has an opportunity to provide feedback. So the bills are they're not final until we go down to Parliament and they are debated and voted on, and then we go, so there's still an opportunity for the public feedback to be incorporated.
Okay. Can we get some key proposals in each of the legislation, a bit of a summary before we go heavy into it?
Right. So I think what I would like to do is, rather than me doing all the talking, I'll ask
We'll pass
Dr.
it on.
Mark if he can share a little bit about the public health bill, and then I'll have Dr. Sims share a little bit about...
We're manifesting for you today.
There we go, Richard.
I guess
New
you'll-
charter.
Yes, it'll come to light one day.
Yes.
Hi, good morning. So
morning.
you asked a very good question earlier about why did we need the bill. So the bill addresses several gaps. So, for example, the gap today was there's no statutory public health structure. The Department of Public Health and the roles of director will be formally established in the bill. It also actually formally establishes the official role of the Chief Medical Officer and the Chief Nursing Officer. The Chief Medical Officer was a post that is, in a sense, a legacy post from the days when there was a combined system with the Cayman Islands Health Services. So it has made our law more efficient in the sense that these now have dedicated roles and provisions in which to work with. So these are well-defined duties. There was also no modern notification system as well. So as you can see, it strengthens disease prevention and surveillance. So there was no prescribed form, no prescribed timeline, no clearly defined recipient in law, for a doctor who, suspected a disease. So this is what surveillance means, is that it has, the ability for us to be able to, before an organism is confirmed as being a responsible organism for something, to be able to put the wheels in motion in order to get a head start in dealing with the problem before it becomes bigger. And this bill puts this detail in law, so it becomes an obligation. So as we looked at that, one of the other things that we needed to do was to look at our laboratories. So laboratories in the past largely fell outside the framework. So that's, again, part of the strengthening disease prevention and surveillance.
I have a question about the laboratory
Sure.
aspect of this. So, because I don't know so much when it comes to that, or with this, if we're looking to establish more labs in Cayman, will that speed up the process that we go through right now, because a lot of samples and biopsies are sent off island? Is it in relation to that?
So actually, it's more in relation to the reporting duties a laboratory has.
Okay.
So what happens is now there's no framework necessary for a lab to report a result to anybody, and who do they report it to? So it allows a framework for this now to happen. So the bill imposes a reporting duty in labs and lets Cabinet designate laboratories, including ones that may be overseas, as providers for public health analysis.
Okay.
And so this gives us that ability to ensure that the labs are within a certain, criteria that we have set. It also has a pathway for them to report disease, their findings to a set pathway. The other thing that addresses is we didn't have any graduated response. We have, very little in terms of ramping things up. So the bill creates a middle tier. So, you have a standing risk committee that can investigate and require remediation. So we're not forced to escalate to a national declaration on a declared problem. So it gives us a more smoother transition. So it improves our governance and accountability, because one of the other things that it addresses is we didn't have, bill that looked at coercive powers unfit for purpose, which is what what the old standard was. So the powers over individuals that exist today were old. They're unclear. They're not built around the rights and protections, and this bill seeks to put that right. And also, this bill is very strong in the sense that it talks very well on non-communicable diseases and mental health. In the current act, disease was really an infectious sort of point of view. But this bill puts disease prevention, mental health promotion, suicide prevention, substance misuse prevention as a core public health function. So it aligns our legislation with modern international health standards. It will also improve our data collection and strengthen our governance.
And this is the public health bill.
This is the public health bill, that's correct.
With the data collection right now, what are the gaps? What's missing that could help our system be a lot more effective?
So data collection now is, in a sense, very much not a obligation, is very much a voluntary sort of arrangement. And I think that because of that, and there's no framework for the data to be nicely dealt with, we will not be able to address things as fast as we could possibly. So the data collection will now have a standard framework in which to work with, and we'll have the national epidemiologist who will be involved in looking over that data and help to identify trends, and therefore help to make the government position be evidence-based, and allows us to work towards dealing with problems in a more systematic nature.
Okay, excellent. That was a great summary.
Thank
you very much. All right, almost Dr. Sims
Yes.
for the environmental health bill,
Yes,
the key
Kathy,
proposals.
again, thank you for inviting me this morning.
No
It's the
problem.
first time being on the buzz. I like that buzz.
Yes.
Yeah, so the purpose of the environment health bill, it represents a significant modernization and expansion of regulatory framework, right? Currently provided by the Public Health Act. What you find in the current Public Health Act now is that there's a lot of overlapping in terms of responsibilities for the CMO, the Medical Officer for Health, and the Director for Environmental Health. So because there's so many overlapping responsibilities, this now, we're carving out all of those things from the Public Health Act, given the Environmental Health standalone act by itself. So while the Public Health Act offers the foundation of protection of public health, its provisions are limited in scope, right? And it does not adequately address the contemporary challenges that we have now. So the bill will enable DEH to regulate more effectively and comprehensively, particularly in areas that has become increasingly relevant in the 21st century. I can tell you, for example, when we prosecute cases now, it takes a very long time, right, to get through the court system, because we're competing with the police, CBC, other law enforcement agencies that feeds files to the DPP, and the DPP is just one office. So when you see that somebody make a complaint to us, we do an investigation. For example, there's a letter case. The DPP has to decide whether, well, I have this murder trial going on, I have this burglary case going on, this rape case, whatever case.
Yeah.
And here I come with a letter case saying, hey.
It's not as much of a priority per
Right.
se.
So it's then it would give the impression that we're not working as hard or trying to push things through the courts. But I mean, we've been getting results. You've seen recently we've had one or two cases that are successful. So things like that will the bill will help us to enforce things in terms of we'll be having the authority now to do administrative fines and all this other things, write tickets. So that now will then help us in terms of getting a quicker prosecution,
Right.
Solving cases quickly. There's also the food safety and hygiene aspect that we deal with. the bill will strengthen our ability to regulate the establishments, because right now there's no concrete regulations surrounding how these establishment food businesses operate. We've been dealing with them through persuasion, pretty much. Trying to make sure that they operate in a healthy and hygiene environment.
Because I thought already, if you were going to, have a food, if you're going to be a food vendor, for example, at Parrots Week, that you would have to already get a certification,
Right.
passing the food handling and inspection, like a standard thing that most vendors have to have.
Yeah, but you see, now those are just policies that we have in place, right, that we work with from a policy perspective. Now with the bill, it will solidify those requirements, right, that people must do those things. Because, if somebody chooses not to do the food handling certificate, it's not like there's a penalty or punishment.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
So now this bill will enable us to have a more stronger position when dealing with those issues.
Okay. We got to take a quick commercial break right now. When we come back, I know you have more to tell us about the key changes or proposals, I should say, in the Environmental Health Bill.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for a station that plays the music you actually love?
Switch now. The Breeze 105.3 FM.
The best adult contemporary hits
of the 70s, 80s,
and more. All day, every day. Feel good. Sing along and let the breeze keep you company.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are getting more details this morning on the legislative package that the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability has introduced just a few weeks ago. Just in July, they made this announcement. So we are getting details on what these new bills and amendments are. And in studio with me, I have Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, Minister for Health, Environment and Sustainability, Dr. Mark Paramlal, Acting Chief Medical Officer, and Mr. Richard Sims, Director for the Department of Environmental Health. Mr. Sims, you were giving us the rundown when it comes to the environmental health bill.
Yes, and we left off that food hygiene.
Yes.
Right, and talk about the certificate for those things. So that's the food side, but there are also the other certification that we're now looking at in terms of cosmetology. We do cosmetology certification as well, and that covers the health impact trades, we call those, and those. So for the first time, the bill provides a robust power to address potential harmful trades such as cosmetology.
Which I never knew was harmful, but I think
it's not.
I think the minister explained to me why, with the I guess different solutions that could be the fumes kind of inhaled.
The solutions people use. You have to make sure you have proper ventilations when dealing with those. So whenever persons want to set up those studios, you have to make sure it's they have proper ventilations and things like that. So we spec for all of that.
Okay.
So hairdressing, barbershops, tattoo parlors, and body piercings. All right. A lot of people go, I didn't know you regulate all that. Yeah. But because a lot of people, when the first thing when you think of Department of Environmental Health, you only think of garbage, the landfill, right?
Usually you think of just the environment, your surrounding environment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this addresses the regulatory gaps in those respective areas and that currently exist and improve the safety of those industries.
Okay.
Right. And as I mentioned earlier, that we'll now have the capabilities to do administrative fines and a majority advantage of the bill is to introduce fixed penalties, right, and administrative fines. This will significantly expedite enforcement because, like I explained before the break, that it'll take some time before we get through a prosecution.
Right.
And so this will allow us to just move things quickly. We see an offense for a littering act, for example, a littering offense, then we can write your ticket, and you'll be on the way. You have 28 days to pay that fine, and if you want to challenge it, then you can go to court after the 28 days.
Now, with the bill introduces powers of entry, which I had to figure out what powers of entry was, which means you can just enter into an establishment.
Yes.
And under what circumstances could an environmental health officer enter a property or business?
For example, if there's a noise nuisance, for example, right, and you want to go and investigate that situation, it gives us the power to enter without a warrant and address those issues.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, because one of the things that I like about this act, particularly when it comes to noise nuisance, is that if you're familiar with the Town and Communities Act at the moment, it does mention noise nuisance that gives the environmental health officers and the police the ability to deal with those things. However, what's lacking there is the decimal levels. There's no decimal levels that is it's set in the regulation itself. So there's always a challenge when but when police go to deal with these things, and even us, we have to say, look, you have to make a judgment call. Is it loud? Because what's loud to you may not be loud to me.
Right, yes.
And because there's no decimal levels regulated, then it's much difficult to enforce. So with this new bill, you'll be able to have proper measuring devices approved by the director to be used to measure noises and prosecute against.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's water management plans as well, right? Now, I was under the impression that we do pretty good here with our water quality.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, who would potentially be required to take care of the water management plans, I guess, if it's going to be under the ministry?
Well, that I think currently there's going to be some changes in relation to the water management in the bill, because as we go along, as you see, we're having public consultations. There are things that are coming up and saying, should we continue to be responsible for water quality management? But how is it now? How it is now? The water authority is responsible for the water quality up to your meter. What we look for is from the meter to your kitchen. Right, the water quality between there. So if there are issues between that point, that's when we would come in and have some regulations surrounding that. But we're still in discussion as to whether we should continue on that trend or we'll allow water authority to just manage the entire water quality aspect of things.
Okay, we're still trying to figure
so
that out.
yeah,
Okay.
so because we're still in that discussion stage, and Minister just had some discussion about that earlier. So we're just trying to finalize where we would have that in the bill.
Okay.
Or not.
Okay.
Right.
And just to turn back to the potentially harmful trades for a second,
Yes.
are there any additional regulation or inspections that businesses should understand that are going to be facing?
Well, the thing is, here we have in this bill we'll have the power to do closure orders. In respect of, for example, if there's a restaurant that
Is not abiding by
right, and
the standards.
we're seeing that their hygiene practices are below standards, or an infraction surrounding hygiene upkeep, then we will have the ability to do closure orders. That's pretty big, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not one power you want to use very loosely, because it could affect people.
Right.
So we have to be careful in that. Even though it will be something that we have in the toolkit, you have to be careful how you deploy it.
Right, of course.
Because you don't want to create pandemonium in some instance, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Coming from a former police officer, that's a great perspective to have, I would say.
Okay.
So, Minister, we know that you've been having the town hall consults, right? So we've had a couple already. We know that one is tonight, Georgetown at the Constitution Hall. And again, tomorrow night as well, there's another one. What have you received so far in terms of the feedback? What are you hearing from people?
For the most part, the public are really excited. Certainly, I think the most excitement that we've received has been around the fact that there is now going to be a standalone environmental health act, and Director Sims will actually have legislative powers to do a lot of what he's already doing. I guess that's where the former police officer comes in handy. He's able to do a lot with persuasion, and even as he spoke about the closure orders, he's had to, I'm hoping it hasn't been too often, but I know he's had to, on some occasions, advise business owners that they need to cease operating until they could come up to standards with what his department has been requiring. So the public is excited about that. And also the practitioners, a lot of the feedback that we receive from practitioners, a lot of them are really excited to hear that we are taking a national approach to public health and establishing a public health department under the ministry, or a public health unit in the interim measures, which is what we've been doing in the ministry now. So yes, I think that certainly for me as minister, I'm really inspired and motivated to keep doing what we're doing, because the public certainly has been hungry for, these advancements in law.
And if I'm remembering correctly, I think the bills were supposed to be published on the 21st of August.
They were.
Now it's going to be the 28th, so tomorroh.
And
why the delay?
The delay was because we wanted to incorporate the feedback that we'd received. And that caused a little time difference, because we had to go back to legislative drafting, and without belaboring, some of the changes, I'll just give a quick one that I think the public will appreciate. Richard, you want to just talk to them about potentially harmful trades and how that sort of transitioned from that to the nice fancy name that we gave it after public feedback?
Yeah, because the thing is, and that's what these forums are there to do, to provide us with feedback, because we might think we have it right all the time, but we don't.
Right. Perspective.
And so what we were proceeding with this title of harmful trade, but some person that could bring the wrong connotation in terms of, you're trying to offend my trade. It's not harmful, and this is
right.
So we decide to rename it to health impactful trade.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So that's the new term we're now using going forward.
Health impactful.
Health impactful.
I like that better as well.
Right.
It takes away that kind of negative connotation
right.
from it. Yeah.
Because you don't want immediately, as I mentioned that at one of the public forums, a guy like, No,
Yeah.
we need to come up with something else.
Well, that's great feedback right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we change it, right? And that's essentially what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And we want the public to participate, give their feedback when the bills are published tomorrow, to have a good read and see what affects you in positively or negative. We want both positive and negative feedbacks so we can make the necessary adjustments before the act come into being.
And we took a different, well, I shouldn't say completely different because I've seen it done before, but we took the approach of going to the public first before the bills were published. What we were trying to do is we were trying to ensure that our legislative drafting team isn't down at Parliament, late at night dealing with a heavy suite of committee stage amendments, because regardless of when we receive the feedback from the public and, even in instances from the opposition, we incorporate that if there's a general consensus amongst members. So getting this feedback early means that we could incorporate that into the draft bill before legal had finalized it. So that's what we've done. But, there's still going to be feedback coming, or opportunities for feedback coming from the public once the bills are published. We did meet with the opposition as well. They too haven't seen the bill as yet, but they got the general principles of what we're trying to accomplish. So we're really excited, and I want to again just take an opportunity quickly to thank the Ms. Cheryl Neblett and the legislative drafting team who have been working around the clock on the weekends, right up until 45 minutes before we had cabinet yesterday to ensure that the bills were finalized. So I want to thank them, and also the ministry team, the policy teams that have been working on this, and Director Sims and his team. It certainly has been a team effort, and I think we've all had a bonding experience, going on a road show, and certainly getting the feedback from the public. So just want to thank everyone.
I've participated in the consults online.
You have?
Yes, there's one more I still have to do. So
okay,
for everybody listening, it's really, really simple. It really just takes a few minutes. So half the time that they even tell you that this might take 5 to 7, it's going to take you half that time.
And we just want to also thank the minister for taking the charge and leading to take these bills forward, because as you mentioned, it's been over 40 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so to take up the mantle and bring these legislation in the 21st century is commendable. So thank you, Minister.
I want to touch on the Health Practice Act when we return. We've got to take a quick break right now.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. We are in the final 10 minutes or a little bit less than that of this segment where we are learning about the legislative package that the Ministry of Health, Environment, and Sustainability has introduced just in July. And right now, we heard about the Environmental Health Bill, the Public Health Bill. We didn't talk about the Tobacco Act, the amendments there, because we've talked about that in previous discussions. And now we're going to hear about the amendments to the Health Practice Act. And Dr. Mark, if you could lead us with the key proposals there.
Yeah, sure. Good morning. Thanks for asking. So the Act sets out areas that standards must be sort of addressed. So it talks about what practitioners are responsible for and how they'll carry out clinical care. It talks about licensing, performance, and staying within what you're trained and qualified to do. So understanding where the professional practice boundaries lay. It talks a little bit about consent, so making sure patients understand and agree to their care, and how to handle situations where patients have difficulty in deciding for themselves as well. So that's quite important as our population changes. Talks a bit about prescribing, handling, and storing medications, some clinical trial research information, and it really focuses on trust, safety, honesty, and integrity. So I think those are things that are particularly very important. So it talks about, as I said, professional codes. So the cabinet has made the decision that we need to make sure that the codes that we have apply to across the board, and there are certain basic codes that we need to all follow. Of course, I think that's quite important as well.
Now, it sounds a tiny bit technical, per se. So in the sense of you did say something that, as it relates to consent with health practice, and then also where an individual might not be able to make a decision for themselves. So you made an allusion to that.
So it talks about consent, and how we can go about addressing those aspects of consent. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's my question, because part of it sounds a little technical, but what parts of it do the general public really need to grasp?
So I think
this?
In terms of the amendment to the Health Practice Act, what the amendments are actually relating to are around the lines of the subcommittees and the fact that we're trying to further establish our nursing school.
Yes.
The oversight has previously been with the Jamaica Nursing Council, and so whilst Dr. Mark is correct in all of what he stated, in particular, why we're taking the approach to just amend this piece of legislation now is because the arrangement that we have with Jamaica is starting to Jamaica is now letting us stand on our own 2 feet.
And we can.
And so the subcommittees that will be established, the first one will be in line with an education subcommittee, primarily because the committee is comprised of, when I say committee, the council, the nursing council is comprised of individuals who are often busy working. So they're able to now delegate, once this amendment is made, they're able to delegate out their duties to individuals who can focus more on education, on the oversight of the school and curriculum. But yeah, so that's, I think, the primary amendment that we're making at this stage. And then what Dr. Mark was alluding to, we're also working on, but that will come when we move forward into the next set of amendments on the Health Practice Act, which will be, well, they're working on it now, but it'll be a bit later. What we decided to do was, because this amendment is needed now, we're getting ready to go into, well, we're already into the fall term.
Yeah.
We made this amendment now, and there will be a holistic review of the Health Practice Act in between. Well, we're doing the works now, and that will probably conclude and be taken back down to Parliament, hopefully before the end of Q1 for 2027.
Okay. In my reading a little bit about the Health Practice Act and the amendments there as well, the subcommittees really stood out to me quite a lot. So under this amendment, it is said that professional councils would be able to create committees, as you mentioned, and delegate some of their functions, right? So from the responsibilities that could be delegated, what actually would just remain with councils themselves? Like, how much of their power can they give to the subcommittees, and what are they responsible for?
The councils will still be responsible for the governance element of their duties in terms of the registration and monitoring of, in this instance, we're looking at nurses. What they would be delegating out would just be getting, technical support to help them in terms of fulfilling their obligation that they have under the council. And that is primarily being done because we recognize that there are limitations, and we need individuals who are more focused on education or have, a bit more that they can contribute to the Nursing Council. So, we're still in early stages, but, if there is anyone who might be interested in assisting with the Education Subcommittee for the Nursing Council, please feel free to reach out to our Chief Nursing Officer, Mrs. Felicia McLean, and you can find her email address on the ministry's website.
Yes, all right. Thank you so much. We only have a couple minutes now. And I know that there might be some things that you want to get out, some messages for the public. A reminder that there is that town hall in Georgetown at the Constitution Hall this evening. And then there's one again tomorrow night. I didn't write down the details for where that is. You might have that.
There isn't one tomorrow.
Oh, my bad.
There was one last night. That's what happened. It was last night and tonight. So you're
Okay.
right. There were 2 evenings.
My apologies.
That's okay. So we
tonight.
can tell the public a bit about that. So tonight it's at Constitutional Hall at 6:30, and we will be there to go through all of the proposed amendments in details. And we also will have the policy team will be on. They'll be there tonight so that if there are any questions asked, members of the public can really get the true medical or technical explanation for the rationale of the changes, as well as we can then record feedback received and incorporate it, if necessary, into our draft bill.
Okay, excellent. Gentlemen, from you, any closing words?
No, I just want to thank you, Kathy, for having us here this morning. I appreciate, the opportunity to explain these bills and, looking forward to the public contribution. And I also like to give a shout out to my team, Department of Environmental Health, and the hard-working ladies and gentlemen we have that keeps this island nice and clean and safe for all of us. So big shout out to them. That's it for me.
All right.
Thank you very much. And I think I agree with Dr. Sims. A lot of work that goes on behind the...
It's natural
it's
now.
catching now, yeah.
Yes, now it's going to be Dr. Sims.
It's a lot of work goes on behind the scenes by people that we don't really get to see and appreciate. So, just acknowledging that I think is important.
It is. And again, thank you, Kathy. Thank you to all who have tuned in this morning to listen. If you're able to come out tonight, we're inviting you to come to the Constitutional Hall at 6:30. And we also want to remind the public that the bills are going to be published, hopefully, by Friday, tomorrow.
Okay.
And they will be listed then on the ministry's website. And we're encouraging the public to provide any feedback that they have, even if it's just to say, this is great, love it. We're looking forward to hearing from you. And again, to all of those who have been involved with getting these draft bills to this stage, I want to thank them and look forward to continue working with each and every one of them.
Okay, excellent. And I look forward to more of these discussions. It's been great so far. So thank you for taking the time to come on the Buzz and share the information with the public as well.
Thank you.
We're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and then we're going to hear a little bit about music therapy right after the news.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
The opposition is bringing a motion to Parliament calling on the government to establish a sex offender registry in the Cayman Islands. The motion has been approved by the Speaker of the House and is expected to be debated when MPs meet next in Parliament on September 30th. We will carry that live on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. In international news, rescuers are looking for survivors after a massive flash flood on the Nepal-Tibet border destroyed homes, swamped roads, and swept away bridges. In Tibet, at least 558 people are missing, with 3 confirmed dead. It's not clear if these figures overlapped with Nepal's. On both sides of the border, hundreds of foreigners are missing. Nepal says that includes 178 tourists from India, 127 from Nepal, 65 Americans, and 33 from the United Kingdom. Dozens of army and police personnel are also missing. The U.S. Geological Survey says, quote, glacial collapse and debris flow triggered the floods, and there are fears of more floods with debris blocking rivers. And King Harald V of Norway is in an, quote, extremely serious condition in hospital, according to the country's royal household. His wife and son have canceled all royal engagements, and they have gathered at his bedside at Oslo University Hospital with other members of the royal family. The 89-year-old has been in a hospital for over a week receiving treatment for a rare blood condition. Having been on the throne since 1991, King Harald is Europe's oldest head of state. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have your medication ready for hurricane season? Follow these HSA prepared tips. Ensure that you have an extra 2-week supply. If you have not refilled your chronic medication in the last 3 months or longer, please visit your doctor, as you will require a new prescription. Store medication in an airtight plastic container in a cool, dry place. For more hurricane tips, visit hsa.ky/HSA-prepared. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
$89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. And in this segment, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite quotes ever. And it is, "One good thing about music, when it hits, you feel no pain." That is from the song Trenchtown Rock. It's a Bob Marley song. And when I first heard that, man, that hit me, because I hope I don't get emotional in this segment right now. Music affects us in so many different ways. Whether we're having the most joyous times in life, the saddest times in life, we're at the gym and we need the most inspirational kind of times in life. Music is a soundtrack to our lives. Think about when you go to the theater and you hear some incredible, like the score for a movie. You hear sounds that are either going to make you completely fearful. If you put it on mute, you won't be scared at all. But it's the sound, what it does to you, how it impacts your emotions. So in this segment, I'm very excited to get into the art of music therapy. So music therapy. It's a big thing. It's something that I've always been interested to actually study, but I didn't do that. So joining me are two dedicated music therapists from the Department of Education Services, and that's Kendra Bodden and Georgie Ann Morgan. They work across our schools using music to help students grow emotionally, socially, and academically. Ladies, good morning and welcome to The Buzz.
Good morning, Kathy. Thank you so much.
No problem.
It was a beautiful introduction.
Thank you. Well, as soon as I said that quote, Georgie Ann, you were like, yes, that hit you. You knew exactly. So I guess that quote or that song did a little something to you as well, I'm going to assume.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head with regards to music, how it affects us, and on different levels, emotionally. So physically as well as mentally, emotionally, music hits all the marks.
Yes.
And so that takes us right into why we use it as our tool, our main mode for therapy in music therapy. Yeah, that's the premise.
How did you ladies get into this career? Like, what led you to this?
So being involved in music from a really young age, from just being around family, but also even from primary school. So from singing and, devotions to getting involved in instrumental music. So starting off with steel pan with Earl Lapierre, and then Miss Stephanie Williams getting me involved in choir and performing at NCFA. Like, it's really been an integral part throughout all of my education, my life in general. And later on, maybe around middle school, high school time, I started to become interested in why we do the things that we do. Maybe from observing myself and my peers.
Makes sense,
Right?
We're curious.
So I decided to go off and study psychology for my undergraduate. And it was doing my research paper. I was looking at music and the effects that it has on academic success. And it was through researching music from that perspective that I realized discovered that there was a profession that melds the two, psychology and music therapy. And so that sparked my interest in saying, there's something that I can do to bring those two things together for me.
That's
so
amazing.
That's where it started. Yeah.
I studied audio engineering instead to get into that music aspect. Yes. What about you, Kendra?
Similar to Georgianne, I was steeped in music throughout my whole childhood, throughout school. I was in all the choirs, all the bands, any kind of informal music spaces I could be in, singing in church. There's a lot of music in my family. My dad used to be a disc jockey, actually.
Really? Am I going to know who he is?
Jazzy B. I don't know, some
people.
Yes!
Come on, yeah, that was your dad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I've always had a deep connection with music. At the same time, while I was in those early formative phases, I'd say, I don't know, I think I was looking around me and seeing a lot of family members struggling with their mental health. And to be honest, I think, to get a bit vulnerable up at the top here, I was feeling kind of helpless. What can I do? I don't know what to do here. So that definitely was my early entrance to the mental health field. I think I knew probably before the age of 10, maybe by the age of 10, that I wanted to get into something mental health related. So yeah, with those two things kind of that charged me forward. Still going through school. I think I got to UCCI. I was doing piano with Mr. Ananga there.
Okay.
And he let me know that Georgianne had just come back from studying music therapy. And he was like, this is you might be interested in this thing, Kendra. You're this kind of person. You like these things. You can do music therapy, right? I was like, what is that? So he put me in contact with Georgianne, and it was kind of history from there. I followed in her footsteps pretty much. I went and studied psychology, and then I went on to do music therapy.
That is very amazing. And it's, for some people listening to it, be like, okay, but for me, in understanding that tie, the understanding where you're coming from with the mental health aspect, and seeing what was going on in your family per se, right? And then realizing that, man, there was something that you understood the healing power of music for you. And then Mr. Ananga just saying, hey, this might be for you, and I know a student who just returned from studying this. Those tiny, small connections and mentorships can absolutely change a person's life and direction completely. That's one tiny interaction and one tiny introduction, and look what it has blossomed for you in life.
Yeah,
I think that's beautiful.
10-year pass for the future. It was there, and I planned my life all around that.
So tell us what music therapy is.
So, understanding a little bit about music and the benefits that it has for us, how our brain engages with music on multiple levels, we started to realize how powerful that is when it comes to helping in certain with all stages of life. Yeah. So from children and babies in the womb all the way to end of life care, music has an impact, and it's culturally relevant for a lot of places. And so the research is based around that. So pairing the theoretical concepts within psychology with the research and understanding of music and how music impacts us. So music therapy is a psychological therapy that uses music in different ways. So looking at tempo and rhythm and volume and tonality, all of those elements of music, and helping us understand then how we can help people going through certain situations or circumstances in their life. So it could be from mother-baby attachment work, helping to build that bond and that connection with carers and with children. It could be with social, emotional, mental health, which is the area that we work most in. And it could also be looking at just bringing connection and joy to people who may be, the elderly in care homes, or those going through hospice care, those in the hospital with pain management. So it's applicable across multiple areas and in multiple stages of life. So music therapy addresses a lot of the concerns using music and all that we've learned from the research of music and psychology.
And I think music therapy as well, it's a broad field in that it's going to depend, and it's going to look, what it looks like depends on the theoretical training and background of the music therapist. Mm-hmm. So Georgie and I, for instance, where we have our music therapy training is psychodynamically informed. Yeah. So there is a heavy emphasis on psychology. But there's music therapists who work from a neurological standpoint. They're working with, how does music impact someone's gait when they walk? How does music impact their speech? Which, also, largely music therapists work integratively, because we realize that, music does, impact us, like Georgie said, biologically, physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah. It's really going to depend on the theoretical background that the music therapist brings.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting when you said how music will affect the gait, of somebody's walk.
Yeah.
And it just makes me think I walk to the beat of whatever I'm hearing.
That's right.
Whatever car is playing their music loud enough for me to enjoy, I'm walking to the beat of that, that's so interesting.
That's called entrainment.
Okay.
Yeah, the brain just does it.
Yes. Well, I always want to dance, so that's probably part of it. Okay, we got to go to a quick commercial break right now, but we'll be back in just a couple minutes. We're going to learn how you work with the students and what kind of students go through this therapy program.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are learning about music therapy. We have two music therapists in the studio with me right now, Kendra Bodden and Georgie Ann Morgan. They are music therapists from the Department of Education Services. So you gave us your background on how you got involved, what music therapy is. Now, I'm curious to know, how do students get involved in a music therapy program?
One of the things that's important to note about music therapy is that we're not a standalone therapy. We work very closely with our colleagues and other specialists in the schools. And so for students to get into the music therapy program, we work on a referral basis. And that's done through our school-based support team meetings predominantly. And that's where we gather together to look holistically at our students, especially those who have special education needs or those who have additional learning needs or concerns. And we look at the wraparound supports that we need to have for those students. And so in those discussions, we may look at whether we think music therapy could be beneficial for some of those students.
What would be the, indicators that would say to you, this would be beneficial or this isn't the right therapy for them?
So there's layers to that. part of that might be, and I know one of the easiest ways in is people thinking, oh, they like music, so this would be good for them. And we talk through that, because just because they like music doesn't mean that it's an automatic fit for them, right? Because with music therapy, you don't need to know music beforehand or have been involved in any kind of music tuition or learning about instruments. So we also look at whether they, depending on the schools as well, so whether we're dealing with someone who's pre-verbal, non-verbal, who finds it difficult to express themselves, talking or through conversations or with words. And we look at what they've already received, and music therapy lends to a different perspective or a different way in with a student who may have difficulty in different areas, including with talk therapy. Or it might be that they're already experiencing some form of talk therapy with either, our counselors or in different aspects or with external provider, and music therapy is just an add-on to help to continue to support in other areas for that child or for those students.
Okay. Yeah. Can you describe what music-based interventions you use, or I guess tools? I don't know if intervention's the right word here for me, but okay. What interventions or tools you use during a session?
Sure. Yeah.
I'd say for me personally, or I think at the core tenets, I'm fresh out of my music therapy training, so I'm still
Congrats.
She's got that.
Yeah.
Spark,
I love it. I can tell you love it.
Well, something I'm especially passionate about in music therapy is the use of improvisation, especially when it comes to that, the nonverbal communication and things like that.
Yes.
So there are strategies around how you meet a person and be with a person in improvisation. You can mirror. That's a very common technique in music therapy, where I'm gonna, like, say if Georgianne's clapping like this, she's smiling, I'm gonna clap right along. I'm gonna do the same thing as you. I'm gonna match you so that you get to see. First of all, I'm reflecting you. Yeah. So you get to build some self-awareness. This is for people who may be struggling with that kind of thing. But also, it shows you that I see you, I hear you, and you kind of scaffold from that. From mirroring, you go to matching, where it's like, okay, now we're both still here. Maybe I won't be doing the same exact thing as you, but close enough that you still know I'm with you. And then we can move to, now I support you in the music. Maybe I'm just like the background. And then, from there we can go into dialoguing. There's so many ways to communicate and express things. Especially that expressive part it comes out in improvisation. So I'd say that's a big technique that comes in to a lot of our interventions.
Yeah, and you said some key things there. So we're working on building that trusting therapeutic relationship. And there's something about meeting someone in that creative space where we plan and we have activities available, but when it comes to live in the moment music making, where you recognize someone's listening to me, someone's there with me, where I can learn about myself and what this means for me while someone else is supporting me, that's a really big part of the way that we work. We also use lyric analysis. So maybe looking at songs that mean something to us. And, a lot of people say, I listen to the music, I don't pay attention to the words.
Right.
But in a lot of instances, too, the words resonate with us, especially if we've experienced loss or, there's something in our lives that the music or the song speaks to. Then we can think about that together with someone else in a safe way or in a safe space. We use shared music listening experiences, songwriting, depending on the students or the age of the students, if they're interested.
Interesting.
We use music technology.
Musical games.
Musical games, because play is extremely important in therapy and with
all levels of your life.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So we incorporate that a lot. And it helps, especially when, we have a lot of defenses when we experience certain things.
Yeah.
And so using music and play and different elements helps us to be able to recognize the safety of the space, and that's a key element of what we're working towards.
Okay, I'm curious because I think, Kendra, you had mentioned about the nonverbal children, and so I'm thinking like nonverbal autistic children who have a lot of trouble communicating.
Yeah.
How have you seen music therapy develop them? help them in their nonverbal struggles.
Yeah, it's interesting, to see, because it is in the relationship that it's something that you feel, you see, you notice that someone who may have been a bit more withdrawn, or someone who's in their own world, especially when it comes to music therapy is largely music therapy is a client-led intervention. So it's really nice when you can get into someone's world and have them at some point realize and come out of that world and enter yours as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if Georgia, you want to say more on that?
The being with, I think that's what you're touching on, and that you don't necessarily need words for that. You don't necessarily need words to show someone that you're present, to let them know that you're interested in who they are and what they're going through, meeting them where they are. And that client-led, that connection it transcends even words. And yeah, that's important part.
Okay. All right. I think this is so interesting. I've never, in my childhood in school, music therapy was never something I was aware or was offered or anything like that. So I love the fact that the children in Cayman get to have that program offered if they need it, right? Yeah. I think it's such a wonderful thing. It must be very rewarding for you as well, just to see the progress in people and how it has positively influenced them. Yeah. So we know we all have our own relationships with music. So, right, I love it. So we only have a couple minutes left. If there's anything about music therapy that you haven't been able to hit yet, a point that you'd like to make for our listeners to know, what would that be?
I think for me, and this is going back to something you said earlier in terms of that mentorship. Yeah, we were very fortunate to have parents who, when we said, "Oh, I want to do music therapy," because back when I was learning about it, it was relatively new. Nobody really knew much about it. Right. So having parents and people who are curious, don't just shut you down and be like, I don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. I don't know what kind of path future you're gonna have with that. But being, having that curiosity and interest, and then that mentorship is key.
This is gonna lead me to, what about when it comes to the parents or the students that you've suggested, hey, music therapy could be beneficial to your child? Do you get any pushback from the parents like, no, this just sounds like new age weirdness, How do you deal with that?
Sometimes it's just bringing a clearer understanding of what it is. A lot of times when people hear music, it kind of, even though you hear, because there's still a stigma around therapy, right? And people saying, no, pushing back against any kind of mental health. We always think really negatively when it comes to certain things, when it comes to therapy and mental health concerns, especially in children. There's a lot of fear around that as a parent. You're worried, you're concerned, and so when people hear music, it opens up a different perspective almost immediately because of our relationships with music, and because it sounds a little bit safer, a little bit more relaxed. And then there's also just explaining to them what it is and how we will be using it with their children, and bring a little bit more perspective that, yes, it is a serious therapy, but these are the ways that we're going to be working and how we're going to be looking to support your child. So it's bringing that understanding and working with them and speaking with them, and hopefully they're meeting us with curiosity and with interest, and always that willingness to support their child through whatever they're experiencing.
That's okay. Yeah. Good to know. We're coming to the end of the show, so I guess I just got to say, Kendra, if you have any last thoughts that you want to share with us, because there's other questions I can ask, but the time doesn't allow us. So
I don't know. I think maybe there's something empowering for me to be coming home and working in the schools that I went to, working with young Caymanian children,
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know.
You feel like you're in alignment.
Yeah.
That's
Georgie,
awesome.
Georgie touched on the mentorship piece, It was important for me to see Georgie in that role for me to end up where I am here now.
Yeah.
And so I feel very proud to join her and
you work
hopefully
together.
inspire.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love the prospect of inspiring some other young Caymanians.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
And so musictherapyci@gmail.com.
Okay.
We set that up so that because along this journey for myself, part of my journey has been to be there, to mentor, to support, because I had those people in my life as well, and it's really important for me to do that as well. And
pay it back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And even in the schools, to be back in the schools, as Kendra said, and for our children to see that there are these possibilities for other areas of professional development and going off to study, like that's really key. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We've got a few students who are now interested in music therapy and going off to study. So
love it.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
We're really excited to see how music therapy and other creative arts therapies will flourish.
Mm-hmm. And that's musictherapyci@gmail.com.
Yes.
If people have questions.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me. And I think you're offering a great program for students.
Thank you for having us.
I wish, again, that it was available for when I was a young student at that time. So it's good that Cayman has this. I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
And best of luck to you in your careers as well. And for whoever else might follow in your footsteps, you're doing a great thing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Everybody, all our listeners, thanks for hanging out with us today. Remember, there is the town hall meeting at the Georgetown Constitution Hall this evening in regards to the legislative package that we were discussing in our earlier segment that was put out by the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability. You can always go to publicconsultation.gov.ky to learn more about the two bills and the two amendments being introduced. And to my guests in this segment right here, to Kendra and Georgianne, thank you, ladies, for joining me on The Buzz as well, letting people know a little bit more about music therapy, what's out there, the services, and the modernization steps that Cayman is taking. I love it, and especially in the education part. So everybody have a great Thursday and Friday Eve and weekend ahead of you. I'll be back with you next week. The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And Cayman Enterprise City, Cayman's innovation hub. Discover your opportunity at enterprisecayman.ky. And Kirk Home Center, they've got a great deal in store for you.
Radio Cayman.